In this lesson, I will introduce a framework for effective teamwork and offer practical ideas how to apply it in practice. The following model is based on my work with Urdze, a team-building company based in Latvia. Over the last 10 years, we have carried out numerous team development trainings for local, national, and international organizations. By analyzing this experience and relating it to existing team-building theories, we have developed a framework that highlights 6 areas that need to be present in a team for it to be truly effective. This model can be applied to learning groups, project teams, or staff in an organization. On this slide, you see an overview of these 6 areas. Let's start with clear and common goals. This is, in my experience, the single most important factor for effective teamwork. Other aspects, such as participation and shared responsibility, do to a large degree depend on it. There are a number of things to consider here. In order for a goal to be the driving force for a team's motivation, it needs to be relevant and it needs to be clearly expressed. I want to emphasize that I speak about goals that the team members can identify with, so objectives like they are formulated in most projects and planning documents do not qualify, as they are usually too abstract, vague, or dry to be a source of inspiration. SMART principles is a widely used tool for setting goals. But also this approach does not fully address this aspect. The SMART principles stress that objectives need to be specific, measurable, applicable, realistic, and time-bound. This is a helpful approach to ensure that the goal becomes meaningful and clear. However, it does not ensure that the goal is purposeful and motivational. Therefore, I often use vision-based methods to establish goals for a group. The underpinning idea is that there are 2 ways development can occur. When planning development, we usually start from the existing situation. We look at what is not working and what we are not satisfied with, and we consider how to improve the situation. Theoretically, this should lead to a step-by-step improvement. However, in practice, this approach leaves us very much open towards outside factors that impact our plans. As a result, development will take place, but it will not be a straightforward process. The alternative is to start from the goal. Identify first what you want the situation to be like and start planning from there. This vision acts as an aim that helps us not to get lost in the process. During the implementation of our development plan, we can adapt and update our vision to ensure that our goal remains relevant. Let's use a metaphor to illustrate these 2 approaches. Imagine that you are in a foreign city. One strategy is to analyze your surroundings and to look for a street or place that looks nicer than the one you are at right now. You go there and start looking for the next aim to go to. On your way, you might experience a blocked road, or you might meet a person who suggests another place to go to. In the end, you will be drifting along the city rather than following a purposeful path. The other option is to first identify the place in the city where you want to get to and use it as an aim for moving forward. Again, there will be probably obstacles and distractions on the way, but now you can react to these situations without losing your aim out of sight. The GROW model is my favorite tool for this type of vision-based planning. In this method, you first identify your goal. Then you compare the envisaged situation with the current reality. Next, you consider what are the main obstacles that need to be overcome to get from the current situation towards the goal. Finally, you identify the way forward, the next steps to be taken in order to start the development process. Let's get back to the model of effective teamwork. It is not enough to establish a clear and relevant goal. It is also important that everybody has a shared understanding where we are heading to and why. A simple but effective method to highlight different perceptions about a group's goal is to ask all group members to write down in 1 or 2 sentences what they believe is the group's main purpose, and then to compare the results. Even in top-level management groups, this exercise often results in very interesting findings. I want to add one more important dimension to group goals. In my experience, it is a myth that people like to work in teams. In reality, a person's feelings towards group work are mixed. The main priority is to satisfy my own goals and needs, and the team's goals come second. To ensure that group members are truly motivated to commit to the team, it is important that the team's goals do also address participants' personal interests. One way how to do this is to ask participants to write down on post-it notes their personal motivation to work in the group. Next, place a rope in a circle on the floor and now discuss each group member's motivation and whether it is realistic for the group to address it. If yes, put the post-it note in the circle. If only partly, place it on the circle. If not, put it outside the circle. Even if not all personal goals will be addressed by the team, at least after this exercise, all participants will have realistic expectations about what is possible. Defined roles and procedures is the next aspect in this framework. It covers all factors that are required to ensure that the team works efficiently. This includes the planning of work, assignment of tasks, procedures for quality control, decision-making, etc. A method to help a group clarify what roles and tasks are required and who is responsible for implementing them is to use a metaphor that represents the workings of the group, for example, a car or the human body. First, each group member individually assigns the required functions to the picture and also assigns group members to the respective parts. For example, a car's steering wheel might represent the task to ensure that the team moves towards the set goals, or the human liver might represent the task to filter out negative emotions in the group. Afterwards, the group discusses the results and comes up with a common view on what functions are required in the group and who is responsible for them. Open communication and managed conflicts ensure a team's effectiveness and development. At this point, I want to emphasize the importance of feedback and the role of conflicts. Feedback is a key for improving the group's performance and to support the growth of its members. The level of depth that is required in the communication among team members depends on the group's purpose. If it is mainly task-oriented, it will probably suffice to ensure that information is made transparent and regular reflections on the work undertaken are being carried out. After-action review is a good tool for this. After finalizing an important working phase, the group members, first individually and then together, evaluate the work done by comparing what happened with what was supposed to happen. This simple but effective method was developed by the US Army to learn more effectively from gained experiences. If the group's purpose goes beyond the task level, it is important to establish a culture of giving and receiving feedback as a means to promote openness of communication. You can find more information about this topic in my lesson about communication. One method you can consider using is the fishbowl, sometimes also called the hot seat. Group members sit in a U-shape and one chair is placed at the end of the open circle. One group member volunteers and takes the hot seat. Now the group members, one after the other, share their feedback about the person with him or her. The person receiving feedback can ask clarifying questions, but is not allowed to reply or comment on what has been said. Neither are the other group members. When all has been said, the next person takes the hot seat. This exercise will only work if enough trust among group members exists. And also then, it usually takes a couple of rounds before participants loosen up and start sharing open and meaningful reflections. In order to go even deeper, you can add another dimension to this exercise. Let's imagine I am in the hot seat. Now, before a person gives his or her feedback to me, I express my view on how I think the other person is perceiving me and my performance in the team. This additional step will bring into the light a great deal of misconceptions and stereotypes that exist in a group. The other point I want to stress when speaking about communication within this framework is the role of conflicts. Conflicts, if adequately managed, are important for a group to develop, as they help to express different perceptions about goals and highlight participants' needs that are not satisfied. Also, differing views help to double-check if the chosen solution, goal, or strategy is the right way to move forward. The more opportunities are provided to a group to express participants' perceptions, opinions, and reflections, the less place there will be for hidden conflicts to smolder below the surface. If I would have to pick one aspect in this model to identify how well a group is working together, I would pick participation and shared responsibility. To a large extent, this is the result of factors outlined under a number of other aspects. If I feel that my interests and needs are addressed, and I believe that the team's goal is relevant, I will be motivated to take on responsibility for accomplishing the task at hand and to go the extra mile. Also, I will be more willing to critically reflect on my role and attitude rather than pointing the finger towards the system or whatever. In order to directly improve this aspect, effective delegation and entrusting challenging tasks to the group and its members are two important things to work on. For most people, delegating tasks is surprisingly difficult because they do not want to let go and to lose control. Therefore, important questions for the person delegating a task are: what can I do to accept that the fulfillment of this task is no longer in my hands? Am I prepared to take responsibility for failures? And am I prepared to share success? The importance of trust and positive atmosphere in the team is obvious. This aspect is a good starting point to begin building a new team. In a seminar, you can use icebreakers or other methods to allow the group to learn more about its members. In existing teams, it is beneficial to give participants the possibility to leave behind their established roles and to show to the group sides of their personality that they might not be aware of. This can be done through non-formal activities, for example, preparing a common meal, or through team-building activities. Besides promoting group cohesion, carefully selected team-building activities offer also the opportunity to reflect in a playful way on important aspects of the team's workings. Finally, we come to valued diversity. When referred to ideas and opinions, most people can easily see the importance of diversity for reaching the best possible outcome. There are many moderation methods that allow a group to gather differing opinions and to look on an issue from different perspectives. Brainstorming methods allow to develop a pool of ideas to work on. I personally prefer written brainstorming methods because they ensure that all group members contribute and that ideas do not only scratch on the surface of possibilities. This is the easy side of diversity within this framework. The other side addresses diversity of group members, attitudes, behaviors, etc. People favor a smooth and harmonious working environment, and this is best accomplished in homogeneous groups. Only mature groups are able to view on diversity as a resource rather than an obstacle to effective teamwork, and to undertake the effort to make best use of everybody's talents and resources. To a large extent, this will only happen if other factors are successfully implemented, including trust, a positive atmosphere, shared responsibility, open communication, and a common understanding of the team's goals. Additionally, the trainer can make the group aware and work on related aspects, such as cultural diversity or a gender-sensitive approach. To sum up, in effective teams, all 6 aspects are present. Use this model as a compass to identify what aspects need attention in your team. I have mentioned in this lesson some methods and tools, but it is easy to find many more useful resources for each of the 6 aspects.